Hello everyone, I hope you are enjoying my lectures. Keep watching and give your valuable feedbacks so that I'll be inspired to deliver more interesting lectures in diversified topics. So in today's session, we will be discussing about the phase change process. So you know that whenever there is a phase change from solid to liquid or liquid to vapor or vice versa, there will be energy transfer. For example, if you want to melt ice to form water, you need to give some energy. You need to supply some energy. Similarly, if you want to convert water to ice, that is liquid to solid phase, you may have to remove certain amount of energy from water at the given pressure and temperature, obviously. So we will be discussing the phase change process and the important parameters and the property diagrams in today's session. So this is an overview of today's session. So as I mentioned, energy is required to change the phase of a substance. So that energy will be utilized to break the bonds between the molecules in a block of ice, for example, so that it may melt. So energy may be added or subtracted from a system, but the temperature will not change. That is the important criteria. So the phase change process will be taking place at the constant temperature for a given pressure. Now the various parameters in a nutshell, if you see here, the amount of heat required to change the phase of a sample of mass m is given by Q is equal to m into Lf or m into Lv. If it is melting or freezing solid to liquid or liquid to solid, it will be mass of that substance multiplied with the latent heat of fusion. If it is liquid to vapor or vapor to liquid, it will be m into Lv, where Lv is the latent heat of vaporization. Now let us consider the results of heating liquid water from 20 degrees Celsius at 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, we are going to slowly heating water at 20 degrees Celsius. The pressure is maintained as 1 atmospheric pressure at all the times. So that pressure will be adjusted by placing some weights on the top of the piston. Okay, so let us consider the state 1. You can see the property diagram here, where the y-axis is represented by temperature in degrees Celsius and the x-axis where you have the specific volume V, right? So state 1 is specified by temperature is equal to 20 degrees Celsius. So this is a constant pressure line. This is a constant pressure line for a phase change process that we will see in detail towards the end of this lecture. So on a TV diagram, this entire series of lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 represents the processes, the various processes 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4 and 4, 5 taking place at constant pressure. Okay. Now let us concentrate on the first state, state 1, which is at 20 degrees Celsius. Slowly this water is getting heated. Now it is in water state, liquid state. Now state 2 is attained when the water reaches a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So 20 to 100. The heating of water from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius is represented by process 1 to 2, heating of water. The state of the water in this condition is termed as compressed liquid. Okay. This liquid state is not converted to vapor. So conversion of liquid to vapor will start taking place here at this point 2. Now point 3, I mean the state 3 is again the temperature is 100 degrees Celsius, you can see from the graph itself, and the pressure is maintained here. Pressure is 1 atmospheric pressure still. You can see in this diagram as well as this property chart, there is some formation of vapor. There is partially liquid and partially vapor. It is a mixture. It is a saturated mixture as represented here. So at state 3, the complete conversion of liquid to vapor has not taken place, but still partial conversion of liquid to vapor or water to steam has taken place. That's why it is termed as saturated mixture. Now further addition of heat beyond this point, further addition of heat to water beyond this point will convert the entire liquid to vapor. That is represented by state 4, again at 100 degrees Celsius. So if you noted it correctly from this diagram as well as the schematic diagrams, or from this property diagram, the process 2 to 4 is the phase change process from liquid to vapor. At 4, it is completely vaporized. Water is completely vaporized. So the phase change process by addition of certain amount of heat for the given pressure has taken place at constant temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. So the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius when the pressure is maintained at 1 atmospheric pressure. Now further addition of heat beyond that state, point 4, now it is completely vaporized. Still, if you supply heat to water, what will happen? The temperature of the vapor will get increased at the constant pressure. Say for example, the temperature is increased to 300 degrees Celsius by the addition of heat. Obviously, any point beyond this state, point 4, that is saturated vapor, when the complete conversion of water has taken place, that is saturated vapor, beyond that point, whatever heat you add will result the steam or water vapor to form a substance known as superheated vapor. It is superheated vapor. Now, the important thing to be noted here is at point 4, if you, state 4, if you remove a certain amount of heat, the water vapor may come back to the liquid state. I hope it is clear. Water vapor has got a chance to come back to the liquid state if you remove any heat at this point. Beyond this point, if you remove heat from the water, also it will not come back to the liquid state. It will be in the vapor state alone. Now, the first, this example, what we have taken, heating of water at 1 atmospheric pressure from 20 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius, we have done at 1 atmospheric pressure, right? So similarly, at different pressures, we can execute this same experiment, and you can plot the diagram like this, TV diagrams. Okay, temperature in degrees Celsius and volume in meter cube per kilogram, specific volume. We will reach at a point where the temperature is 374.14 and the specific volume will be 0.003155 meter cube per kilogram. At that condition, there won't be any saturated vapor liquid mixture. Directly, the compressed liquid will be converted to superheated vapor. That point is known as critical point for water. So, critical point for water is denoted by this point in this TV diagram, and at which the temperature is 374.14 and the pressure is 22.09 megapascal. So critical temperature for water is 374 degrees Celsius and critical pressure is 22 megapascal. Now please note down these important points. It will be quite useful for you in this subject as well as in the future subjects. If all of the saturated liquid states are connected, as we have seen from here, you can see these are saturated liquid at this point. Fine, at 100 degrees Celsius, just it has reached the 100 degrees Celsius, heating from 20 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius at different pressures. So if you join all these points, saturated liquid points, you will get a line known as saturated liquid line. Similarly, if you join all these saturated vapor points, saturated vapor, fine, that is known as saturated vapor line. So there is saturated liquid line and saturated vapor line. These two lines intersect at the critical point and form what is often called as steam dome or vapor dome. So when you join these two lines, saturated liquid line on the left and saturated vapor line on the right, you join together, it will join at the point, critical point, as we have seen from the previous diagram. So that shape will resemble a dome, and that is usually known as a vapor dome or steam dome. And now the region between the saturated liquid line and saturated vapor line, that is inside the vapor dome, that is called by this term saturated liquid vapor mixture or wet region or two-phase region or the saturation region. Any of these names will be there in different textbooks for representing the region under the vapor dome or inside the vapor dome or steam dome. So you can see here, this is the steam dome or vapor dome on a TV diagram. Okay, this is a saturated liquid line and this is a saturated vapor line, and this is a saturated liquid vapor region, this is a compressed liquid region, and this is a superheated vapor region. Right? And this is obtained by joining all the saturated liquid lines, okay, and saturated vapor lines like this, and it will meet at the point, critical point. So the condition or phase or state of the pure substance inside this vapor dome will be a mixture of liquid and vapor. Now the important terms from the discussion so far are this: latent heat of fusion, as we have seen in the overview, the energy required to transition one unit of a substance from solid to liquid. Equivalently, the energy liberated when one unit of a substance transitions from liquid to solid. Any of this could be. So, for converting solid to liquid, we have to supply energy. If you want to transition liquid to solid, we may have to remove energy. Both of these are the same, that is latent heat of fusion. Now latent heat of vaporization, there is the same amount of energy for changing phase from liquid to vapor or vice versa. Now sublimation is a direct change from solid to vapor. Phase change directly from solid to vapor. So that's all for today's session. I hope it is clear. Please give your valuable suggestions and feedback. Thank you so much. Happy learning.